lowest points in my life were when I wished things were different. I wish I said this. I wish I did that. I wish I left sooner. I wish they stayed. I wish, I wish, I wish. I wish is poison. I wish keeps you in suffering. I think that the root of suffering is an attachment to the way that you want things to be. It's you looking at a situation or a person and saying, I wish you were different. I wish this was different. When you wish for something, you are not living in gratitude or acceptance for what's right in front of you. You're wishing. You're wishing for something or someone that doesn't exist in front of you. And you cause yourself pain, you cause yourself suffering. I'm going through this right now in only one way with someone. And the situation really has me reflecting on this. This is why this insight came to me so clearly in this meditation. Is I realize that I'm in pain because I wish that the person I have a crush on could be different right now. I wish the circumstances were different. I wish that he was in a different place. I wish the timing was better. I wish location wasn't an issue. I wish, I wish, I wish, I wish. And I'm causing myself pain. I can see it, clear as day. There's a lot of relief in that though. Because how you reclaim your power from I wish is in changing I wish to I accept. You turn the future into the present. Think about it like this. In life, you have facts and you have stories. The facts are what is actually in front of you. It's somebody's actions. It's what you've observed with your eyeballs. Anything outside of the facts, the cold hard facts of what someone is showing you, is a story. It's a figment of your imagination, created by lots of feelings and hormones and excitement. And let me just tell you something. I'm a storyteller, baby. I'm spinning up these grand fairy tales in my head. Always have. I mean, y'all haven't seen this side of me yet, but there will be an arc of my life where I'm a romance writer. I am extremely romantic. I am something out of yesteryear when it comes to the girly pops talking about being swept off their feet by a hunk of a man with long hair and bulging arm veins who carries them over a mountain, and then they ride bareback on a horse and go to a canyon with a raging waterfall and they make love in the water. That's me, okay? That's me. I accept who I am. I don't wish I was different. I accept that I am a lover girl. I always have been. It's wonderful. I'm very romantic. I care a lot. I'm very intense. I'm very loving. I give the person I'm with or want to be with, I'm learning, my all. I really do. But I realize, even though there are really magical parts of what I just said, I'm skipping a step sometimes, where because I'm such a storyteller, I literally view the world through the lens of stories. It's extremely hard for me to actually walk my talk on this. I can sit here and tell you there's facts and then there's stories, and you have to pay attention to the facts. You have to pay attention to what someone is showing you, and anything else is a figment of your imagination that you might be either making up entirely or clinging on to give your sense a false sense of hope, or to justify bad behavior at times. Sometimes the story can be so strong that it overshadows what's actually in front of you. It's the gap between what is and what you want to be. The gap between the imagined and the real, right? Expectations and reality. And with this crush of mine, oh my dear crush, I hold multiple truths at once. I'm learning about myself. I'm the best I have ever been. I love myself so profoundly. I know exactly what I want for my life vision. I found my life's work. I wrote down a list of qualities that I want in a partner, in a life partner, and I made sure that I checked every single one of the qualities that I'm hoping for. The one quality I'm working on, by the way, is my directness. If you've joined us on this journey, you know that that's the one last little puzzle piece that I am working on. My directness, said another way, owning the feeling, which these diaries, thank you, have been helping me with. But I do realize, like, I can go through this list of qualities that I want in my husband and say, you have to be what you're wanting to be with. You want to be who you're wanting to be with, right? You have to be who you want to attract. And that applies for anything, not just romantic love, but also friendship, for business. You want to attract a certain kind of person, you got to be that to have a fair chance. Could be a fluke every now and again. You could get lucky and hit a jackpot, but if you want a special kind of person, you want a jackpot kind of a person, you got to show up like a jackpot kind of a person. You know, you got to be a human lottery ticket to get a human lottery ticket. And I've put in a tremendous amount of work to become what I believe to be a human lottery ticket. I mean, come on now. And I'm just saying this in terms of like characteristics. I am loving. I am very entertaining. I am smart. I have a very clear vision for my life and what I want it to be. I'm very nurturing. I'm a community builder. I care a lot. I have fantastic friendships. I absolutely love my family. I invest in people. I have a great heart. I love kids. I'm a silly goose. The silliest of geese. Like Dr. Silly Goose. Don't come on me. You know, you all watch this. I have so much love. Like, I'm just overflowing with love. If you think about where you are, like your readiness for a relationship, it's like if you can really enjoy your own company to a degree where, let's just use me, I'm sitting here talking to myself every day for sometimes over 50 minutes, 50 minutos. I love my own company so much. I will sit on this floor and literally give myself therapy somehow. Thank you for the divine for participating in this. That's how much I love my own company. I love going into this puppy. It surprises me every time. And I love going into my heart these days. And my gut, my intuition these days. I love every little part of me. And that's really what it takes. You know, I think that's what I've learned is like, you have to get to that place where your cup runneth over, baby, with so much love. Because otherwise, if your cup is not running over, baby, you're looking to fill the void. You're looking for a distraction. You're looking for something or someone to pass the time. And nothing passes the time better than a captive audience, than a human being sitting right in front of you to distract yourself with. And I have no desire to do that. That's why I've been single for almost a year. Wow. I've gone on dates, but when you get to a place where you know who you are and what you want and what you see for your life, things get really easy. And I think that's where I'm in this interesting situation, because I'm holding a couple of truths at once. Like I just told you, I know who I am, what I want, what kind of partner I want. And the person I have a crush on, who, we started as friends, which is new for me. I usually just go, because, when there's mutual like, I'm a little intense. But with this guy, I got to know him over time. And then the opportunity arose that we were both available. But there's a lot of unfortunate, or not unfortunate, there's just not ideal circumstances that are happening. But when it comes down to it, I think that why I feel any level of pain or negative emotions in this situation is because I wish things were different. I can see what we would be together and how we would activate each other's highest self and nurture each other's highest self into existence. And I know and have gotten actual confirmation that's not a story, that is a fact. I think that's what makes the situation hard for me. I've gotten the fact in place that he feels the same way. And we both have for a while. And that can be true at the same time as if the person in front of me is not showing up in a way that I deserve with high effort. I'm going against what I want. I know what I want. I know the kind of person I want. And no matter how strong the feeling is, no matter what kind of story I spin myself about how great we could be and how clearly I see it and how I haven't felt this kind of peace with any other man in my life, if I throw all that away and I just look at the behavior and actions that are in front of me, if I throw all of the stories out and I focus just on the facts of who he is and how he's showing up with me right now, this guy would not even be a contender. Like, I am not attracted to inconsistency. I am not attracted to low effort behavior. I catch the ick for low effort people, for inconsistent guys. And this one is interesting because he's a lot going on, so do I, but you make time for what's important to you. And you get ready for what you want and for who you want. And I just know, I just know that I can't hold out for the potential of the situation. I have to look at what's right in front of me. And I've got to say, okay, this is what it is. If I didn't have these pre-existing feelings, and if I eliminated all the stories, I wouldn't even be responding to this guy. I wouldn't. I have a high bar for effort that I know that what I want is not unreasonable because I've had it many times. I know I've had many instances of what a man feels, acts, and moves like when he wants you and when he is dialed. Men are very simple creatures. If a man wants you, you know. If he doesn't, you'll be confused. Now, the hard part about this one is I'm not confused, but he ain't acting right. He ain't acting according to my high standards. But here's the other fun tea. I haven't even really told him that. I gave him a little taste. The other night because, I'm starting to own the feeling. I'm getting better at owning the feeling. A lower version of me would just fall off the earth and not say anything. And this is immature, but just kind of like ghost and then wait for the guy to be like, hello? Like, where'd you go? And then I'd maybe come back around and say something. But in this situation, I just kind of called it like I saw it. And I was like, are you gonna start acting right? He's a smart guy. He knows what he's doing, right? So I'm like, you gonna start acting right or what? And he's like, well, actually, I can't give away too many details because the jokes that I used in this interaction, yeah, they're detailed. And they have layers. But I called him out. That's all you gotta know. I called him out, called it straight, and we got to the point. I said something like, I'm not going to enable a lower version of you when I know the kind of man that you're capable of being. And I feel that very strongly. Like, you do not mess with a woman who knows what she wants. You want to go play a game? Go to Dave & Buster's. Get the hell out of my DMs. Get the hell out of my texts. Stop calling me. Don't contact me. We're not playing games. No. No desire. I have not played a game besides a board game. I've not played a game with a man since college. For Christ's sake. Do I look like somebody you're going to play a game with? Come on. No. He knows that. He's just being a joker. And he's aware of it. He knows. That's why it's aggravating. But here's the thing. As the days go on, as I own the feeling, as I get more practice saying my piece, this gets easier. And I'm really able to say, you know what? Here's my expectations. This is what I expect. Here's the bar. Can you reach it? Do you want to reach it? I'm not going to drag you along on a journey you don't want to be on, right? But I honestly think where a lot of people go wrong in relationships, especially in these beginning stages, if this guy, let me just tell you, if this guy were to straight up tell me, I am not ready, I would walk with no hesitation. When somebody tells you I'm not ready, believe them and get the hell out of there. I'm not kidding. If someone tells you they are not ready and you stay and try to change their state, it's not even changing their mind. It is their state. It is they are sitting there and doesn't matter who could be in front of them. Well, let me amend that. If you're the love of their life, if you're their dream girl or guy, they'll get ready. If someone looks you in the eyeball and says, I think you're the most amazing girl I've ever met, and I wish things were different, but I'm just not ready for a relationship right now, they don't want you enough. I'm like, can we just be honest? That's bullshit. People get ready for what is important to them. You want to pile on all these stories? I can't tell you the amount of times, myself included, I'm dragging my past self when I say this, by the way. I'm not just like speaking and saying, oh, I'm up on this like ivory tower. No, baby, I know this because I've done it. There were multiple situations that I've been in where I have tried to justify, I've even fed into the delusions of my friends going through these situations and say, oh, well, he's not ready because he has an avoidant attachment style and he had a weird relationship with his mom and he's triggered and he's not ready, and bullshit. Let's just cut the act, guys. Why are we gonna spin our wheels over and over the entire rotation of the delusions when we could just zip it and move on? Let me ask you this, because this is what I wish I could have told my past delusional self who would spin these tracks. What will change as a result of you thinking about this? What will change? This is not a hypothetical. I want an answer, because there's not a good one. Spoiler alert. What will change as a result of you spending, in some cases, hours and hours coming up with all these theories about why someone can't do what you want them to do? This could apply to anything. Romance, friendship, business, anything. What do you tangibly gain by talking about why someone is not doing what you want them to do? Because when I think back to the past versions of myself who would spin these thought loops and get real creative and come up with theories A through Z as to why someone was not acting the way that I wished, there's that word again, that I wished, that poisonous word, they would act. When I look back on those moments, that was hours and hours and hours of my life wasted. Down the drain. I accept that for what it was, and I love myself through all of those versions. And honestly, I'm very grateful for those versions, because that's the only reason that I can even be saying this advice to you right now, is I've lived this. I'm not detached from what I'm saying. This was a huge part of my reality. This was like my drum beat were these thought loops that were so destructive and so pointless. Oh, my foot's asleep. They were so pointless. That's why if I can get one person watching this to just stop. Like, I'm telling, like, please do what I wish somebody would have smacked me on the head with a frying pan of truth and been like, sweetie, what is going to change as a result of you talking about this for the 500th time? Nothing you can come up with is going to change the way this person is acting or what they want or who they are or how they're showing up. So the best use of your time, get it all out once, or maybe, a couple times, maybe, in all forms. Say it to somebody, maybe even record a long voice note to yourself and listen to it back. This is great advice, actually. You want to understand how pointless this is, spinning this track? Record yourself on a voice note talking about it and play that baby back. I really want you to let it rip. I want all the neuroses to hop out. I want you to run through theories A through Z to yourself on a voice note. Don't pay attention to how much time is going. This thing will probably go for like 45 minutes to an hour. And then I want you to, right there in the moment, listen to it. I want you to listen to yourself with headphones. I want your voice to be in your ears, real close. And when you do that, I promise you, you will cringe. You will catch the ick for how annoying you are being and how pointless these thoughts are. Sometimes it takes like floating outside of your own self to realize like, wow, I wasted 45 minutes of my time talking about this, and then I wasted 45 minutes of my time listening to it. Now I want you to imagine, okay, the ick we just caught for ourselves, we lovingly caught the ick, and like, this is all for the greater good. This is all for like the higher self evolution, right? So now that we successfully caught the ick for ourselves, I now want you to imagine all the times that you talked about that very same thing with anyone else. So let's multiply the ick by 20, because that's 20 people, right? So 20 people probably listened to those same 45 minutes, if not more. I want you to like calculate, like I actually think it'd be very helpful for you to calculate that. So like 45 minutes times 2, because that was, you saying it, now you listening to it. Okay, actually, no. Let's add that. 90 minutes. Okay, you saying it, you listening to it. Okay. Now we're going to multiply that by the number of people you've told. This can be a rough estimate. But if you told 20 people, and if you've talked about it multiple times with the same person, I want you to add to that number. So that might even end up being 50 people, right? Because if you talked to your mom about this for like hours and hours and hours, I want to calculate that. Then you're going to do that math, and that's the amount of minutes that you wasted talking about this situation that you can't control or change. And I really do think if I had done that, I would have stopped spinning the wheels a lot sooner than I did. So I'm passing that on to you. This came to me in this moment. Thank you. I never done that before, but I genuinely do think there is a powerful, very powerful visual to saying the thing, hearing yourself say the thing, multiplying the impact of how many times you've said the thing, and then really looking at yourself in the mirror and saying, wow, okay, that's 100 hours of my life plus that I can't get back. I'm done, right? And then just like look at yourself, give yourself a hug. Do this with so much empathy and compassion. But just say to yourself, we can spend our time in better, more productive ways, right? I wish I had done that when I was in the thick of my thought loops. I really wish I think that would have moved me out of it. But, on one hand, you do have to feel the emotion. I'm not saying you can skip this part. I'm just saying that it does not have to be as all-consuming as it might be. Like, we can cut the time in half if we're strategic about it. I'm not saying you can't talk about it. I know, I understand. These situations are hard, and like, we're not monks sitting on a mountain chanting all day. Like, we're gonna have things about our life that our mind's gonna fixate on because it doesn't make any sense, and we want to make sense of it. But some things aren't logical. People aren't logical, especially, in matters of the heart or relationship of any kind, friendship, love, business. You can't apply logic and solve these things. They're not Rubik's Cubes. They don't have a quick and easy fix. You can't learn. Well, you can learn how to solve. You can learn what not to do, and you can learn what to do, and you can learn what you want. But you can't force a square peg into a round hole. You can't make someone ready. You can't make someone want you. You can't make someone act a certain way. I think that true peace is looking at a situation or a person for exactly what they are, who they are, where they are, and saying, this is what we've got. Is this in alignment with what I want? With how I want to spend my time? With who I want to be with? For what I want for my future? If the answer is yes, fantastic. Let's roll. Let's get the show on the road, right? Let's invest here. The answer is no. You really got to override the feeling, override the hormones and emotions, and you got to look at it and say, okay, you're lovely. The situation is lovely, but it's not in alignment with what I want, with my strong point of view. I think the times in my life that I've had the most pain in relationships of any kind is when I did not have a strong enough point of view for what I wanted, and then I allowed myself to be swept up in the tsunami of the other person's point of view. And then eventually, when I realized that the situation wasn't what I wanted, I'd leave it, but then be like, oh, wait, at no point was this what I wanted. Why did I even let any of that happen? I don't do that anymore, because you live and you learn. Now it's, oh, I have a very, very strong point of view from the beginning. So I am impossible to be herked and jerked around. No herking and jerking. And also, this is really has been my story, is no being with someone who is not in alignment with who I am or my values or what I want for my life. I think in the past I used to have a scarcity mindset I'll use dating. With dating, because I had this narrative about myself that, I'm a lot and I'm intense and I'm kind of weird and I'm a lot of things at once. And I think I had this narrative in my head. So what that did in the dating world is when a guy was really into me, I would go along with it, even if I'm sitting there thinking like, wait, I'm not really into him. That happened in multiple of my serious relationships. And that's kind of wild to say, that I wasn't really into the people I was with. What? Can anyone else relate to that? I mean, wow. But I just had so weak of a perspective. And I didn't have a full perspective on what I wanted and the kind of person that I wanted. And so when they chose me really, really like ferociously, really passionately, I was like, oh, they must know something that I don't. So let's go for it. But I'm not doing that anymore. It's what I want, right? It's all about knowing what you want and standing firm in it. No matter what situation it is. You know what you want going into the situation. You make that known. You do not budge. You do not sacrifice your own boundary. You do not sacrifice what you want. You do not bend. You stand firm. And then all of what's not for you clears out. And it might feel a little bit jarring because in this period, like since I ended my last relationship, which was last April, I have gone on dates, but I have really made sure, because my time is very valuable and I have a lot of great things I could be doing, like sitting on my floor talking to myself. I don't have all the time in the world to be entertaining you with a comedy set for 2 hours, gentlemen. So my bar has gotten very high because it deserves to be high. And because of that, I go out on fewer dates because I put more effort into making sure that this person has and is exhibiting the kind of behaviors and qualities that I want, especially in the actions. And I could go into this a little bit more detail because whenever I talk about this, it starts a huge conversation because I think I do things a little unconventionally for a woman in the dating scene. Just to give you a little taste, I don't push the ball forward at all with guys. So here's how it goes. if a guy doesn't express interest in me, dead in the water. I will never go up, and I'm not saying this is the right way, I'm just saying this is what I do. I will never go up to a man and ask him out, say anything to him. I will drop a napkin, as they said in the old days. I will now, especially these days, I didn't used to do this, but I will make eye contact. I will make the invitation that I'm interested, but I will never be bold about it, because I just believe men are simple. When men see something or someone they want, they don't let that opportunity miss them. No matter what people try to tell you about the social anxiety or like, oh, the Me Too movement making men scared, I don't buy that. I have been approached by so many men over the years. I don't mean that in like a cringe way, but I just mean like, I know that that's false, because when a man sees something he wants, he's not going to let all of these logical stories about, oh, me going up to this woman in the park is going to get me too'd. I don't think anyone's out there thinking that. I really don't think that. I mean, maybe a couple of people, but I don't, I don't buy that, and I think it's kind of a cop-out. So anyway, I don't push the ball forward at all. In the early dating stages, I'm just a firm believer that the inertia and the momentum has to be coming from the man. And if you as the woman try to push the ball forward, this is only in hetero relationships, to be clear, then I feel like there's an imbalance that starts to be created where you can't tell if the man has that like gut level desire for you. And well, this is a little spicy, but I just feel in some of the research I've done on relationships and like how men and women bond and like even the hormones at play in the body, if a man doesn't have the gut level attraction for you that makes him look at you from across the room and say like, I want her, I think it's very rare the relationship will work long term. So I don't mess with that. That's why I don't approach men. Because if you want me, the research shows you'll let me know and you'll make a move. That is not going to guarantee that I'm going to make a move back. In most cases, I actually do not. But I just feel very strongly that men know what they want and they go for it. And you don't want to mess up that delicate balance, because that is how you create a situationship. I think a lot of situationships, now this is just a hot take, but this is based on field research and talking to some of my friends and people I know in situationships. When you ask them, how did the situationship start? I have heard many times, too many to ignore, that the woman reached out to the guy. The woman made the first move. Or the woman, they went on a date, okay? First date. And then the woman reached out after the date saying, I'd love to see you again. Not the man. This is a hot take. I don't have this confirmed. This is not research, but I've heard this many times. My theory here, as a woman, this is just girl tea time. And if you don't agree with me, you can challenge me, but all I'll say is I've not ever been in a situationship. I think we create our own conditions sometimes. But all I'm saying is, you want to make sure the person you're with is rocking with you and that you have mutual feelings. If you go on a first date with somebody as a woman, you do not, you're a ghost. Maybe if he says, oh, text me if you get home safe, you can say, got home safe. I don't even do that. If a man really wants to know if I'm home safe, he'll text me and say, hey, did you get home safe? Trust me on this. It happens every time. Even if the guy says, text me when you're home safe, I will not do that. And he will actually follow up like 30 minutes later and be like, hey, did you get home? Men are simple. We overcomplicate them. don't buy into the story that like, oh, he told me to text him. I got get rid of that. Get rid of that. I'm telling you, some men are very kind, very polite, right? This is how you can tell if there's something going on mutually from his side. I go on a first date. I don't care how much I like the guy. First of all, you don't even know that man. That is his customer service representative. He is showing you his best self. He is showing you the version of himself tailor-made for you to get into your pantaloons, baby. We are not trusting a man on a first date. We're seeing if there's chemistry. We're seeing if the actions match the words. We're seeing if we have a good time. We're seeing if this person feels like a friend. We're seeing if we feel comfortable around this person, right? That's what we're looking for. We're not, creating husbandry. We're not deleting the dating apps and saying, I found the one. No. We are just watching carefully. And the next phase is, okay, if the first date went well, got a green check, what's your next move as the woman? Nothing. Zilch. Now, this is just my personal opinion. Take it or leave it. Zilcho. I go home, I sleep like a damn baby, and then I wake up the next day to a text from the man saying, or that night, just depends, saying, I had such a great time tonight, when can I take you out again? Sometimes the man will even do it at the end of the date. Men are easy, guys. We really spin these stories. Oh, what if? No. That's how you want to save yourself a lot of pain in dating. Do what I just said. You show up, you be your effervescent, celestial being self on that date, and you fall off afterwards. Fall off. If you try to push the ball forward yourself, what you're doing is you're not seeing if the man feels that gut level attraction for you. You're disrupting it. You're basically like making it real easy for him to be like, oh, she must really like me because she wants to hang out again. That's his job. Maybe it's a little old-fashioned of me, but like, I'll just say I have really great dating experiences, and I think that this is why. Is like, if I go on a date and the next day the man does not follow up with me, deuces, my good sir. Thank you. Thank you. You just saved us both a lot of pain and time, right? Because it's when you force the issue and you reach out to the guy and then you push the ball forward that it confuses everything. And the guy is like, oh, well, maybe I could give her another shot. And oh, now we're on a second date. And oh, now we slept together. And oh, now she gets attached to a guy she didn't even really like, and that guy doesn't even like her. That's how a situationship forms, is when you're disrupting the flow. I know there will be a lot of people who disagree with me on this. Call me old-fashioned, call me whatever you want. I'm just saying, based on my field research, because I'm observational. I am observant and I pay attention. And I also pay attention to my own dating stories and my own dating strategies, if you will, or things I will do or not do. And I pay attention to that of my friends. And I just cannot help but notice the parallels here. I don't end up in situationships, and I think it's because of what I just said. You don't disrupt the flow. Now, here's the other thing too. Just because a man wants you does not mean that you want the man back. That's been my story for real. I've gotten really good at this. Is like, I don't care how passionately the man wants me. How is my lady bit feeling? Because there's a lot of men out there, baby. There's a lot of good men out there. You gotta tell yourself, there are so many good men out there who will give you what you want. And if you're a man, there are so many good women out there who will be an amazing partner to you and who will show up for you and be so gracious and giving and loving and caring and make you a priority and show up for you in the way that you deserve. And if you have a list, they'll have all the qualities on that list and more, and ones that you can't even imagine. But if you spend your time fixating on people who are not showing up for you, who are not being consistent, who you have to create stories and excuses for, you are distracting yourself from finding the person who is made for you, the person who is meant for you to invest in. So free yourself from the stories, especially in dating. I just say this as a big sister because gosh knows that I needed to hear this a couple years ago. So maybe one of you out there is hearing this and being like, oh, something's clicking. I can only hope. Or if you disagree with me and you want to fight me, meet me outside the Chili's by the dumpster. Okay? No, I'm just kidding. We can talk about it. Like, seriously, I love talking about this. People debate me on this all the time at the boardwalks. I've talked about this, and I've talked about my approach. I'll tell you, all the men who I've ever said what I just told you, the men who are real ones, the ones who are honest, like the guys on my walks, best men in the city of Austin, they know I'm right. And they will tell me. They will be like, facts. And I'm like, hey, yo. So I'm not just talking out of I'm not going to be vulgar, but I'm not talking out of a crevice that's not this one, okay? I'm talking out of truth here. I'm talking out of field research. But I'll leave you with that. I love you so much. It is late. It is 11:38. I hope you had the most amazing day. And I love you so, so, so much. Thank you for being here. And I can't wait to see what tomorrow brings. Let me know what you're up to this week. Love you so much. And my two planties, yin and yang, love you too. Okay, love you. Bye-bye.